What's going on, guys? I hope you guys are having a fantastic, amazing 5-star day. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So today's topic, I do want to talk about Twilight Masquerade, doing some numbers, but we'll probably talk about that tomorrow. Save it for another day. But yeah, I wanted to talk about something that I haven't really come to realize until now. Until several years of collecting Pokemon cards and getting to a point where I no longer feel like I have to buy a deal when it pops up on eBay. That's where I like to shop. I like to shop on eBay. I like, that I can put in search terms and keyword phrases, and I can find all the things that I'm looking for on a daily basis and go treasure hunting, around the world kind of for what people are listing and putting up. But one thing I've gotten a lot better about doing is kind of looking at all my different options and not just looking at market comps, market comps, last sale prices, stuff that you can find on 130 point sales data. Because sales data tells you what most people are paying. But for those of us that are not just higher end collectors, but in general, more avid collectors, more experienced collectors, more savvy collectors, more thrifty collectors, all of us out there, I would say probably, maybe 10, 20% of people in this hobby are very tactical and strategic about how they build their collections. And I know I wasn't. That's something that I can't say I pride myself on, is that I was very strategic and tactical in building my collection initially. But it's something that I've gotten much better about. And what I mean to say here, now that we're 2 minutes into me kind of already starting to ramble and rant, is that in this hobby, it's all about who you know. It is all about who you know. You can find deals, you can search for stuff, you can go to garage sales, you can go to conventions, and that's good because you will make more connections. You will network with people, you'll meet vendors at the conventions, all that good stuff. Guys, stop it. Guys, hey, cut it out. Each other. Yorios, cut it out. He's picking on Cleo. Anyways, it's all about who you know. Okay, so when I first got in the hobby, I didn't really know anybody. I didn't really know the community that well. I didn't really know any big names. I didn't really know anybody on Instagram. And starting my Instagram actually has helped a ton. Not just, I have my personal Instagram, but starting my Pokemon Instagram helped a ton. I would highly recommend it to anybody out there that does collect, that wants to get more in tune with what's going on. You can't do that with just YouTube, and you certainly can't do it off of just what you see, with market prices, with all these auction sites, with Fanatics, or I guess, I forget what they used to call PWCC. I don't know. It's now called Fanatics. And then you have Heritage Auctions, you have Golden, you have eBay. It's not just what you see online. There's a whole... And a friend of mine tried to explain this to me really over a year ago, and I didn't quite understand what they meant. I always felt like, hey, cut it out. Hey, cut it out. He keeps messing with Cleo, but he's being ridiculous right now. He's being really annoying. I don't know if you guys have dogs that sometimes they play with each other, they annoy each other, and sometimes they just don't stop. So that's Yorios right now. I don't know what's going on with him. I think there's a dog near us that's in heat or something, and so it's just driving Yorios crazy, because he normally doesn't act like this, but he's kind of being nutty right now. A friend of mine was trying to explain this to me, how it's, you got to make connections, you got to network, you got to know people. And I never really felt like I necessarily had to know people. But they're trying to drill this into my head. And now that I've started my Instagram and I'm following, all these other Pokemon collectors, Pokemon card collectors, and I'm following other people that are also vendors, and I'm following people that are well known in the community at these shows, and then just people that are other collectors that post stuff that are, more big on social media as far as like Instagram goes than I am. I'm not big on Instagram. I really don't like going on Instagram. I feel like I always get sucked into other stuff. But I do see the utility for it, whether you have a business and you're flipping cards or you're doing claim sales or stuff like that, or you're trading with people. I understand, people have built their Instagram really for their own entertainment purposes. But for me, it's kind of to keep a log of my collection. And just also I like mixing and mashing music that I love, hip hop, with some of my favorite cards and creating kind of like a badass post. But other than that, it's really YouTube for me. But as far as like something that I feel like I can consistently do that I enjoy doing, I enjoy making videos. I enjoy ranting, going off on tangents. I don't enjoy sitting there on my phone trying to do filters and trying to edit and trying to find the perfect caption and then, trying to pick out a song. I don't enjoy that whole process. That just feels like me wasting time. But the Instagram account is growing. It continues to grow. It's actually growing a lot faster than I expected. I think I'm like 30 posts in, and it's like at 130 followers right now. So I feel really good about that because I'm not even trying. I just started. I'm not really using tags. Anyways, why is this relevant? Why is this important? Because you have to make connections. You have to network with people. And what I love is that now that I know all of these people and I'm starting to follow them, not just on my personal account, but on my Pokemon account, I'm following all these other accounts and I'm seeing, the deals they're getting, the stuff that they're grading, the stuff that they're selling, and they're not selling on the platforms. They're only selling privately. So you see a lot of deals and a lot of things and opportunity that you would not otherwise see. And then you're meeting people, you're networking. Some of these people become your good friends. Some of them more just acquaintances, but even recently, I really wanted to go to the Richmond Collecticon. It's, right down the road, but we have a big event at the bar that I need to work on Saturday. And honestly, if I can't go for 2 days to the Richmond Collecticon, there's no point for me to go. I really wanted to go up there and make content for you guys, but I do have to work. The girls are gone, and I have to continue making money to provide for when they come back. And we just have a big event, and it's too short notice for me to shift someone on it. But anyways, my point being is that someone offered to drive me up to the Richmond Collecticon from Charlotte. That was really, really cool. No one has ever offered to actually do anything for me or help me out in that sense. I did have some friends here. They graded cards for me. That was really awesome of them. They helped me out with that. And then I have a friend that offered to give me a place to stay in Richmond right down the road. So that was really, really cool. And he's also vending. Shout out to Pixel Monster TCG. I think that's what they call it. Some of you guys may know him as Chaos Collector. He's been a long-time sub and a homie of mine. And also Jodo Jake. He's helped me out a lot. These guys are constantly giving me great advice, talking about the hobby, talking about what's going on, giving their 2 cents on things like modern alt arts and prices changing and fluctuating with that. And then JD is like expert on the vintage stuff because he's been in this hobby from the get-go. So I have some really amazing people in my corner that I met in this community, and that wouldn't have happened if I wasn't more outgoing on social media and trying to meet more people and network. Like, all of these things have happened from being a little bit more social and a little more outgoing. And I think that can help a lot. I think collecting, kind of is a lone wolf, as you will. That's probably why I missed out on a lot of opportunities. And I'm willing to admit that I missed out on a lot of great opportunities because I wasn't networking enough and I wasn't really linking up and chopping it up with the people that are in this community actively. Instead, I'm buying stuff off people on eBay, a lot of which people selling stuff that they either don't care about or stuff that they've found from their childhood collections. And it's difficult. It's difficult to work out deals. It's difficult to try and get them to understand your position as a collector and that you're either trying to flip stuff or you're trying to collect on a budget under market comps, which can be really, really difficult to do. Yeah, I wanted to keep this video short and sweet, but when you're working with people that are in this hobby that know how things go, and frequently buy, sell, trade off platforms and doing this privately and going to shows, they know what it is. They know what it's all about. They know that we're all trying to get deals, and people are willing to work with you because they know that you are, you know, an avid collector. And I just appreciate the connections that I've made. And I think that more than ever now, it's all about who you know, right? If you know the big name collectors and vendors that are pulling in all the products, you can have phenomenal deals, okay? So here's this one example that I'm gonna leave you guys with today, because I really want to keep videos shorter and more concise so that they'll upload and process sooner. And I feel like if I can do that, it will also allow me to, like, hey, you're not having to dedicate 45 minutes, an hour to doing a video and editing and processing it every single time. You can do 10, 15 minute long videos, try and get your point out there. And then if it's not what you like, who cares? You're going to do another video the next day. You're going to focus on a new topic. But I really want to be more concise and to the point and, you know, not waste anybody's time. But I know some of you guys love the rant style videos that are much longer. But anyways, this example, you guys know I'm trying to complete the Gold Star set, and I recently sold my PSA 9 Gold Star Suicune. Now, I sold it for $520 on eBay. After fees, I net $450. I'm in that card about $330, so I feel pretty good about that already. I'm up on that card, but the thing is now, trying to buy that card again on the market, the best deal I've gotten so far was somebody sent me, shout out to, we weren't able to make a deal, but I think it's like Smelly Duck or something. Really cool seller. We're not able to really come to a deal just because I think they're too high up and they have to deal with fees and that sort of thing. So they wanted $500 for the Gold Star Suicune and a PSA 9. Now, because of my networks and because of the people that I know, a friend of mine, JD actually, who I was just talking about, was, I have several other people that I really should mention that have referenced things and sent good deals and sent sellers or vendors that have picked up, you know, certain cards that I'm looking for, and they have basically directed me, you know, without finder's fees or anything like that, no incentive on their end other than trying to help me out find the cards that I really, really want. And I really appreciate them. But yeah, JD told me about Goldenrod, otherwise known, I think, as Eric. Anyways, Goldenrod, this seller, I guess he owns a shop or something. Maybe he vends at events too. Goldenrod actually picked up like, I want to say almost like 100 Gold Star Legendary dogs. Insane. I don't know where he got all of these Gold Star Legendary dogs. Another thing is, it's crazy how many of these are still out there, that there were a bunch stolen. Card House EU got a ton of those and has been auctioning them for forever, it seems like. And then now Goldenrod managed to get like 100, grade them, got a bunch of 10s, got a ton of 9s. They're all freshly graded. Anyways, he's asking $1,250, and, you know, this is basically me doing some marketing for Goldenrod, but hey, who cares? If we can work out a deal, which we haven't yet at this time of making this video, there's no deal or prices that I've worked out with Goldenrod, so in no way am I incentivized to talk about him as a seller or someone in the hobby. But fact of the matter is, they did a post. They don't want to sell the Gold Star dogs individually. They want to sell them as sets. Which makes a lot of sense in my opinion. I think you're going to get best bang for your buck sets, and it's nice to keep them in sets. And then if he's got 100 of them, he wants to get rid of them quickly. He'd have to sell 30 sets to get rid of all of his Gold Star dogs so he could get all that money back. But yeah, it was like, his post was like $100,000 in Gold Star, PSA graded Gold Star dogs or something like that. Anyways, he wants $1,250 for a set, which if you guys, you know, real quick, we do the math. $1,250 for a set is roughly, $1,200 would be $400 per card. So you're roughly at like $415, $417.25, something like that. Ridiculous, really a good price, way under the current comps that we have right now. So I'm even considering my Raikou and my Entei. I'm really, really picky, guys, and there's just a little bit of lifting on some edges of those cards. Other people probably wouldn't care. I'm not other people. I'm already trying to get another Suicune, so I figure, heck, might as well try and get a modern graded version of all the dogs that freshly someone just got graded, that they just got a ton of them in. So I may buy the whole trio, but my whole point is, this wouldn't happen if if I didn't know people, right? If I didn't know people in the hobby, if I didn't have enough of these connections, it would be much harder to find these cards and I would have to rely on the secondary market. But because I know people, I'm able to go from, I got an offer to buy Gold Star Suicune for $500. That's the absolute best they can do. And I'm still gonna have to pay taxes on that, or I can send it to the vault and wait 3 weeks to get the card out of the PSA vault. Or I can buy privately from someone that knew someone who knew someone else. Like there's, this whole web of people that are connected in this community, and that's really, really useful, okay? If you're collecting specific cards, singles, whether it's modern, whether it's vintage, whether it's grails, whatever your thing is, there's somebody out there that also collects those cards that if you meet them on these other platforms, on these other social medias, and you network, that can really help you down the road with your completion goals. My buddy Jodo Jake, he would not be where he is with his modern alt art set almost being complete. Like this dude almost has every single modern alt art in a PSA 10, which is insane. Congrats to Jake. If you're watching this, congrats to you, buddy, on coming to that goal and finally coming to fruition with everything. But anyways, it's all about who you know. Goldenrod, $400 and some change basically for the legendary Gold Star legendary dogs. That's amazing. Okay, that's a great price. That's $100 basically less than the best deal I could get on eBay. Now granted, probably is not going to be willing to break up the card, so I'm probably not going to be able to get just Suicune, but I figured, hey, what's the use? I might as well try, and I might even just buy a whole set, because the price for a whole set is honestly still good. And honestly, the Gold Star dogs are just starting to go up in value. They were just starting to it seemed that they were just starting to dry up a little bit. Okay, we're going over time. I wanted 15 minutes, but I can't even do that. The Gold Star legendary dogs were just starting to go up in value. So now a question I pose to myself is like, how long is it going to be until the Gold Star dogs really do dry up? Is this one of the last big finds that someone's going to make for, finding a big group of Gold Star dogs and getting them freshly graded? Could be. This could be one of the last chances to pick these cards up. So something that I'm asking myself, not for you guys, but, because I don't want anybody doing stuff based on what I'm saying to do. Make your own judgment calls. But this is for me. I think at $12.50, you could make good money on buying Gold Star sets. I really do. I do think that each of those Gold Star dogs are going to be $500 a pop in PSA 9 in the near future. And I think Suicune, which was already pushing $600-700, which is going back down now. I think Suicune, especially with all of these now new copies that are going to flood the market, I think Suicune was just about to really break a big price barrier. And now that might take a little bit longer, but still, I think there's probably closer to like $1,600 of value per legendary dog Gold Star set, the trio of the three. And just for reference, because I do have these cards, now remember, Suicune is gone, so we don't have Suicune, but I do have the other two dogs still in my Gold Star collection. And to get all three of these in a set, you have the graded guards. You can start collecting Gold Stars, which by all means, do your thing. People collect what they love. I really love Gold Stars. And Gold Stars are kind of a hype beast thing, honestly. I feel like people make them more sought after than they really are. But yeah, I love Gold Stars. I think they look really cool, and I think it's a really easy, cheap way to get into the Gold Stars. And right now, Goldenrod, he's got a ton of them, so maybe we'll work out a deal. But I think even if I were to make a play and buy an extra set to sell down the road, I think it would be money well spent. I think I could probably turn a profit on buying them, especially when they're freshly graded like that. So yeah, just something I wanted to talk about because there's always almost a better deal out there waiting for you to find. And it comes down to who do you know. It all comes down to who you know, and that's why you got to build good relationships. You got to be friendly to everybody you meet in this hobby, because you never know when the next person is going to help you out find your next grail card or the next card you're looking for, or give you a deal on it, because a lot of the people that are avid vendors, sellers in this hobby that are doing trades, they want to work deals. They want to get cards gone. They want to work something out. And it appears to me that Goldenrod is kind of doing the same thing because $12.50 is under market comps. So like that's hooking people up in the community. And that's why I feel like it's okay to talk about Goldenrod, and I wish him all the best, and I hope he sells all his gold stars and makes a killing because that's an awesome play. And I would like to know more on the story of how he acquired all those gold stars. So maybe we'll talk about that. But anyways, I'm going to leave you guys with that. Have a fantastic day. We'll be talking about stuff tomorrow. Maybe we'll talk about Twilight Masquerade. Maybe we'll talk about some drama that went down recently. There's been a lot of drama, honestly, recently, but one that I find interesting is Loose Packs. The vendor Loose Packs recently was known to have sold I want to say a Neo Genesis box, but there was a expensive booster box that they sold to someone who I also know that seller as well because they're on eBay. They probably don't know me, but EA Collectibles. Now, EA Collectibles bought this box, I think, either months or years ago, and Loose Packs, we're going to cover all of this, but it just, the box was fake. Loose Packs took full responsibility. We're going to talk about that in another video. I do want to shed a spotlight on them taking responsibility. I think that was really big for them. I think it could have blown up in their face had they not. But also, just talking about stuff being resealed, people need to be careful, and kind of do an update video just to remind people that if you are looking at vintage booster boxes, you got to be careful out here. All right. Peace out, guys. Remember, have a 5-star day, everybody.